Hi everyone. I always wanted to have something that would make it really easy to give game characters real memory, personality, and agency. So I'm really happy to introduce this project of mine that I've been working on since past few months, SoulEngine. So SoulEngine transforms static game NPCs into evolving entities, characters that can remember player interactions, develop personalities over time, and speak with their own voices, and even take autonomous decisions through MCP tools in the game world or in the conversation. The core of this project was based on these 5 pillars. The website is live and you can just sign in, create a project or view project. I will open an empty project and just show you how you can load one of the starter assets, and they'll already have certain number of MCPs tools. So these are rich game worlds that you can just load in and play to see how well the NPCs interact with one another. See, it got loaded up. So if you go to the NPCs, here is my NPCs. I have added and edited some NPCs on myself. These are the core anchors. They have personality. You can either select from a preset or you can make it on your own. I have couple of TTS providers and you can select the voices for the NPCs. The NPCs have knowledge access, that is, for the game world you'll have some knowledge about the game world, about what there is, and then there are different tiers about that same knowledge. And you can have a way to enrich these NPCs with this knowledge tiers. This NPC doesn't have any knowledge of the conspiracy that is going on in his office, but he knows of the party ideology and protocol more. You also know about the forbidden archives, but not so much. So this gives us a more layered way to en- enrich the NPCs. We also have features such as schedules and default states, so that in the game world, if there is certain time and you plug it into the NPC, then they will know in their mind what they are doing and what are they working on right now. Again, the NPCs can have certain conversational and game event tools that can be activated via the LLM in behind the NPC or via certain game actions. Like suppose if there's a blast in a particular radius, then they can activate these game event tools that are available. And you can add or create your own MCP tools here for projects and game work. The NPCs also have a social network and they know the other NPCs in the game world. And there is also a depth to which they are familiar with certain people. And the NPC can also have a way to know the player itself, like basically us. When enabled, they can know us as well and they'll know us by name. As you talk with the NPCs, their mind state and personalities evolve, and we maintain a Git-like history for all of that, of how their mind is, and we can always revert an NPC back to their default, or we can even revert to any particular update as we see fit. Let's go to the playground and test it out ourselves. Once the session has been started, you'll see how fast this works. There'll always be a mind tool call. If I ask him of another NPC, then he will recall if he knows them or not. And in the mind tool, we can see that it can recall the NPC. So when I asked it about forbidden archives, that is something that is not available to everyone, so they are hesitating. So in the mind state, they call this MCP tool, which is request credentials available to this character. We can see here. So that's what they are asking. They said a certain speech, and then before we go further, I need to see your identification. This is an add-on because of that MCP tool. So these will be pretty readily available when in the Unity package, and you can make the game world much more dynamic with this mind instance and the MCP tool features. If you see here, you can see that we have certain memory cycles. So these are exactly what this sound like. We have a daily pulse that would like happen usually after a day in the game world, weekly whisper, and persona shift, which can happen after a major event or so. You can run it here as well. If I do this, then the conversation that we just had will be updated here. So we can see that we'll have this daily pulse that just happened yesterday. So this is part of the mind which stores that, and all the conversation is now in this two line. Similarly, I can just run the weekly whisper, which is meant to be done once a week in the game world time, or however you may see fit. Let's try the voice to voice feature, and then you can see how fast they are. Hi, director, what are you doing here?
Hello, Pranav. What can I do for you today? I will get back to you shortly as I've taken note of your call for my attention. I'm just going about my usual duties in Section 4B. Is there something specific you need help with? Before we go further, I'll need to see your identification.
No need for all that, Pierce. I'm just here to get to know more about the party ideology.
It's Price, actually. And of course, I'm happy to share what I can about the party. What would you like to know? Before we go further, I'll need to see your identification.
So ultimately, when this is available as a Unity package, you would be able to set up a project ID, and in the settings, you can configure your providers, LLM, TTS, STT, and you can set up your project ID, game client ID that you need in order to have your game NPCs connect with this. And then you can also configure your API keys. So I have these two configured, and they are enough for my LLM and speech things. Yeah, I am really excited about this project, and you can visit the website, and I will start working on repackaging this as a Unity asset, and you can join the wishlist through here, enter your email, and just join. Thank you.